Hey everybody, in today's video we're going to take this easy beginner bourbon recipe that I made 3 months ago. It's been aging on a medium charred oak, and today we're going to proof this down. I want to proof it down to 80, and we're going to remove the oak and we're going to filter it, and then we're going to try it out. Come on, let's do it. So the first thing we want to do is filter everything out. And we're going to do that. I've got, this is a half-gallon jar, so I've got 2-quart jars that we're going to filter this into. And I'm just going to use this funnel and a coffee filter. And I'm just going to start pouring it through, and it's just going to filter through the coffee. I'm just filtering it through the coffee filter. That's it. And I'm going to spill a little bit. It's just part of it also. I wish I had 2 of these funnels to be doing 2 at a time. That'd go twice as quick. And once we've poured enough out of this half-gallon jug, I'll be able to just reach in there and grab that oak stick. And I can use that oak stick again because this is the first time I used this particular stick. And as far as I'm concerned, you can use them 2 or 3 times and they still produce the results you're looking for. Oh my gosh, this bourbon smells so good. Now, a lot of people are going to tell me this is not real bourbon. I'll put a link down in the show notes for this recipe and how we did it. We used sugar. All right? We didn't use an oak barrel. We just used an oak stick. And a lot of people are going to say, that's not bourbon. Well, if I gave you some of this and didn't tell you how I made it, I bet you would tell me what a great bourbon it is. Or, maybe you don't like it, but you would definitely call it a bourbon because it tastes just like a bourbon. Because it is a bourbon. All right, I think I can get that stick now. There we go. And we'll just let that dry out. We can use that again. What? We're going to proof this again. I already proofed it once and it was about 125 proof, but I just want to double check it. It has been 3 months. I have opened this jar and let it breathe a number of times. So, the angels may have taken a share. But we're just going to get some in here and find out. And you could also proof down with, some sweet water if you had some sweet water. Some people will back sweeten with things like honey on a bourbon sometimes. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to proof it down to 80 proof. All right, let's see what we got here. And it's 110 now, so it dropped. That's okay. Not a problem for me at all. In fact, that's less water I have to add to get down to 80, so I like it. Also, just to let you guys know, we've got a pretty big announcement coming up, maybe in a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Something really big we've been working on, and I think you guys are going to really like it, but just going to give you a little teaser, that's it. Okay, so we've got our 2 quarts here. I also have a gallon jug. Now I know this is not going to fill this up, but we're going to be adding some water, and I just wanted to be able to do accurate measurements. So I think we can pour this back in. The jar has millimeters on it, markings for millimeters. So that's what I'm going to use for measurements when I do the proofing. And I don't know if you've seen the video for using the box method for proofing down your alcohol. I'll put a link down in the show notes, or maybe I'll just put it at the end of the video for the really simple box method for proofing. Oh, and it's not quite 2,000. It's like halfway between 1,500 and 2,000. I'm going to call it 1,750. And it doesn't have to be exact, not for me anyway. I mean, for you, you might want to measure it exactly. You might want to get, like a measuring bowl and take it as close to exact measurements as you can. But I'm going to say that's 1,700. Now, I'm going to show you how we do the calculations. Make sure this stuff is out of the way here. So we're going to use the box method. We know we've got 110 proof. Okay, so that goes up in this corner of the box. I want 80 proof, so that goes in the center. I'm going to be using water to proof down, which is 0 proof, because you could use 70 proof or 60 proof, whatever proof you had here, to do all of these same measurements. So it's basically just subtraction. 110 minus 80, what is that, 30? And then 80 minus 0 is 80. This is 80 parts of your high proof. So that's, these are both high proof, and 30 parts of water. Okay? And we're going to take this down even further. So 10 goes into both of these, which is going to be 8 parts high proof to 3 parts water. And it doesn't go any further than that unless we want to use decimals, which I don't. So for every 8 parts of 110 proof, I'm going to use 3 parts water. So it's an 8-to-3 ratio. Now, let's calculate that out. What did I say? We have 1,700 milliliters of the high proof, or the 110 proof. Let's divide that by the 8 parts. Okay? So that's 8 goes into 17 2 times. And that's 16, and that's 1, 0, 0. And then it goes 1 time into 10, that's 20. And it goes 2 times into that. So 1,700 divided by 8 is 212, and that means our parts are 212 milliliters. And our water is 3 parts, so now we multiply 212 by 3 to find out how many milliliters of water we're going to use. And that's going to be what? 636. So 636 milliliters of water. That's how easy it is. And that should take it down to roughly 80 proof. It's not, like I said, it's not exact, it's close. Let's go ahead and drop our roughly 1,700 milliliters of 110 proof. Okay, and again, these jars have marks for every 250 milliliters, and I'm just going to eyeball 363 or 636. So above the 500 mark, below the 750, that's 130. So almost halfway between the 500 and the 750. This is distilled water. Let's go a little bit more. There we go. I dare to say that's perfect. Nice. All that's left is the tasting. Let's do it. Okay, so I've already poured my glass. The phone wasn't recording when I was going through recording, pouring the glass and everything, but I've got my hillbilly sniffer glass, also known as a jelly jar, and then these large round ice cube for sipping on your whiskey with one large ice cube. It's perfect, and that's it. And this is really good. This is really good. You know, I tried to do, when I was developing this recipe, this is a really simple recipe because it's for the beginners. And so it's not a complex recipe, but I was aiming for kind of a Woodward Reserve oat. And, you know, well, it's close. I didn't get there, but this is really good. We'll see you guys on the next one.